One of my core beliefs, something that I talked several times about in my YouTube channel, and this is something that I've held on to for a while now, is that you have to keep questioning your own beliefs. Doesn't matter if you're religious, polytheist, atheist, whatever. Every belief has to be put on stage and tested, so you can kind of actually see how solid it is when it's tested. That's how you end up uh, owning your beliefs instead of borrowing them. Otherwise, you fall back on whatever you're familiar with instead of what you actually think is true. You end up saying this is true because X, Y, and Z, only because it's comfortable, because it fits you, because the world makes sense through it, not because you ever tested it. I used to think that like most people didn't actually believe what they claim to believe. I'll admit, Muslim friends, Christian friends, atheist friends, people who never even frame themselves in those terms. Or and if you ever asked any of them why is this good specifically and not that, they usually couldn't answer. Or even if they answered it, they kind of sort of just gave me very vague answers. And I'm not saying like everyone should have some alright answer uh already ready. Most people just don't sit with their own values that closely. um Actually, here's a small example that stuck with me. I have a friend who's vegetarian, has been since he was a kid because his whole family is. Ask him why, and the answer is basically it's just how we eat. Like, fine, that's honest enough. But one time I pushed a little, asked like what he'd actually say to someone who ate meat but donated way much more to animal welfare, let's say, causes than he ever had. Like, that person's action matter less than his diet. Uh, he, Honestly, he seemed like he got kind of annoyed. Said something like, "Well, it's just what I believed in," and changed the subject. That's the exact thing. The exact thing what I meant. It's not that vegetarianism is wrong or that his instincts are bad. It's just that the belief it was never actually his. It was kind of assigned to him. He immediately got of kind of defensive against his own belief. It felt like he cannot touch it. He cannot even question it. Um, so he just kind of deflected the question. So for me, I refuse to live inside something I don't actually believe. I don't want to just inherit a belief just because my friends hold it, or because my family does, and uh, slap it on, like a label. That feels very dishonest to me, and it also like gets you stuck. You can't really think clearly about anything if you can't even survive the first real challenge to your own position, because down you never really cared enough to test it. And in a sense, I don't know if that's like even I genuinely believe that every single one of us wants to test the belief. It's like the kind of thing that you are trying to avoid doing, but the moment you get the momentum and drive to do it, the moment you start doing it, you can even get too far to the point you just strip away every every single kind of meanings about that belief, and you just have like all you're left with is nothingness. I guess that's the kind of fear that people have, but honestly, I don't even think that people think to that much, think to that point where, oh, if I do this too much, I'm going to be paralyzed, which I don't think is the case. I hope that I'm wrong though, because I don't want to sound like someone who thinks that he's above everyone. Um, Also, like, here's the thing though, like, even when you do question yourself, even when you throw your beliefs out into the world and like see how they hold up, I think you still end up falling back toward what's familiar, like just within a wider act of, let's say, opinion. I mean options or decisions or choices. Let's say. So the more you study something, the more the range of things you could plausibly, let's say, believe expands, but you still gravitate toward whatever feels most like home, most like the things you were grown with. So I saw this happen with religion. I barely knew anything about Christianity going on, just surface level stuff. Same with Islam, Hinduism, various philosophical traditions, ideologies. The more time I put into each one, like the more I started to feel like I understood it. But what stuck me most was that none of those, none of these traditions, none of these thinkers actually claim total certainty. Like even religious philosophers, when you read them closely, like admit their own beliefs could be wrong. Like that surprised me a lot. I used to assume philosophers were the most certain people alive, dead, sure of their own, at least like their own worldview. There's the like systems. Like turns out it's exactly the opposite. The ones who thought the most, the hardest, who wrote and spoke and put their ideas onto put the idea out onto the world, um, tended to be the least dogmatic about their ideas. So I think that's just human nature, though, not fixed, like not inescapable, but just like being there, like just real. You can widen the list of options you're choosing from, but you'll you'll just end up landing on whatever feels more true to you, shaped by whatever raised you. Even now, if I read the Bible 100 more times or lived among devout people every day, I don't think I could adopt a belief system I fundamentally disagree with. And I know that's it's just a snapshot of who I am right now, shaped by everything I've read and watched, which is its own kind of bias. Like that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep reading things you disagree with. It's just genuinely hard. Like you read something you agree with and it just clicks. Not perfectly. There are flaws, obviously, but and there are gaps, but it sounds and it feels very reasonable, just like how I gravitate towards. Um, I would just put it as science. They just explain so perfectly. They explain the world so perfectly to me. When you read the opposite view, and it feels like pulling teeth, you know. I mean, still, I force myself through it because I don't want to be the person who dismisses like an entire worldview without really knowing a thing about. Like, and I don't think disagreeing with someone's core belief means that you can't really learn anything from them at all. I disagree with plenty of political figures on plenty of points, let's say, but that doesn't erase the parts of their thinking that are really worth engaging with. It's hard to sit with that friction, but once you push through it and actually understand where someone's coming from, let's say, like that's when real understanding starts. Like saying we just have different opinions and leaving it there is honestly the weakest move you can make in a disagreement. It's a way of protecting yourself from kind of being challenged without really admitting that is what you're really doing. So everyone really wants to just keep believing what they already believe. I think that's just default setting, and that's part of why I'm glad I started questioning things early. I'm not saying this to again sound superior. It's more like starting the gym young. I got into the habit of interrogating my own beliefs earlier than the vast majority of people in my age. And I think that's genuinely kind of paid off. I want to keep on doing it, keep reading, keep trying to see the world from different angles and different perspectives instead of writing people off as brainwashed. Because most of the time, like they are just people who never really once questioned what they were handed, inherited. I'm also glad I can even have this conversation in a language more direct than my native one. I speak some Spanish too, though not at this level yet. But something I'm actively trying to build because I genuinely think your beliefs shift depending on what language you're really thinking and writing in. So I don't want any of this sound like I think I'm above anyone. But that kind of isolation, like thinking you've figured it out alone, is really dangerous, and it's actually part of why I stopped learning. I mean, leaning on AI for research. I used to use it constantly, but once I got kind of comfortable actually googling things myself and just starting through, you know, the things that I really didn't want to, kind of avoided doing. I realized I'd rather do that kind of like work on my own. So yeah, that's about it in this video. Thanks for watching.